this is the avalanche like lake that we hiked to. And again, we were talking about how at Glacier everything sits in a bowl, which I mean, I like that feel. I like
Yeah,
that feel of,
cool.
mm-hmm.
Really
And
makes you want to get on top.
yeah, all the glaciers. You can see the runoff, some of the waterfalls leading down to the lake.
This one up here, go up to the top, that tall peak.
This topic. Right?
Yeah.
Clink.
Clink. Uh,
What's up, man?
no, that could have been real.
It could have. I know everyone thought it was going to be real because we did say it was going to be a real clink.
Yeah, we fucked up, guys.
Yeah.
We screwed the pooch.
Yeah. But, it happens. Our quest for Bigfoot led us out into the woods of Glacier National Park, and the weather was not ideal. We had some thunder, rain, heavy rain. The lightning was above us. So, not ideal to record a podcast in. So,
Well,
we were
you know,
unfortunate, not able
and
to do it.
that's the thing about bigfooting. And I think our definition of bigfooting is one of those ones where yeah, he might be out there. We don't know. Mark knows, he's seen him.
Mm-hmm.
But it's kind of like we just enjoy going out in nature, seeing the cool, new, unique things that we see. We're out there, we're doing the avalanche lake hike in Glacier, seeing this cool new lake we've never seen before. And it's kind of one of those where everyone who does that, like, hey, we might see Bigfoot on that trail. We might not. We don't know. And
Yeah, you never know.
that's our definition of it. We're looking, we're enjoying, we're having a great time while we do this. This isn't like, oh man, we didn't see a Bigfoot today. Like, gee dang it. Like, no, it's we're looking for Bigfoot, but we're also looking for a good time.
Yeah,
yeah.
Finding Bigfoot would be just the cherry on top of a sundae, right?
But
Do
we
you
would
need
keep
the
going out.
cherry? Do you need that cherry? Probably not. The sundae's still good without that cherry. You're going to enjoy it. But that little cherry on top just makes it that much more special.
You couldn't have said it any better. And like, I think that's what we got. I mean, we went to Glacier National Park and it was just beautiful. It was
Ugh.
perfect, even though there was so many hurdles to get into the park. You couldn't go up that road, couldn't go down that road. They had roads blocked off. We still made it happen. Matt Buddy was along with us. His friend Bobby too was also along with us, and I think they didn't quite understand pandemics are real.
Yeah.
And like things closed because of that. So
Mm-hmm.
they were kind of upset, it seemed like, when we got to the park, but like
Yeah, no,
guys,
I mean,
what's going on?
we couldn't. There's things were out of our control, because of this whole COVID-19. Everything was shut down earlier, so they got late starts, so they weren't able to snow plow as much. I mean, that happens, and it's also like you could have a normal year, and if they have just like a ton of snow, still might not have been open.
I think
So
it was a normal year. I don't think it was like any. It's just the fact that they started 2-3 weeks late, so it
yeah,
got put back. Like, it opened up like a week later, and it's like
yeah. I mean, the areas we wanted to go, they're open now. That sucks, but it happens.
well, and that's usually like when we go up Logan's Pass. Like, they're usually like July. We're one of the first few weeks open into the park when we go up. Late June, early July,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a beautiful drive. The Weeping Wall is just pristine. I'm a little disappointed we didn't get to do that. Maybe later this summer I might go back up there just to fuck around, but probably not. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yeah. No, it was a bummer not being able to do the going to the sun road, even though you never get to the sun. But it was a bummer.
It's a good road.
It is. It's gorgeous.
It's just
Um,
not too fast, man. Oh,
yeah, but I mean, we did the Avalanche Lake hike, Avalanche Creek. You know, we were able to get up to Avalanche and Glacier. If you do know Glacier, we were able to get there, and then we did a hike. It wasn't too terribly long. There were a ton of people because, you know, everyone wanted to do it. And you get your feel of Glacier when you go. You get the mountains and you get a lake. It's like, that's Glacier. It's awesome.
it really is. Like the best part of Glacier is like it's these lakes sitting at the bottom of these mountains,
Mm-hmm.
and there's just so many of them, and they're so unique. Like Avalanche Lake, yeah, it looked like Cracker Lake, like in the same sense as sitting in the bowl of these mountains, but different water, different looks, different like just the atmosphere. Like even Quartz Lake, same thing, but the way
Yeah.
it's or Lake McDonald, and just in these valleys, you know, that these glaciers formed and melted to these lakes. Like it's really cool. It's I don't know, it's Glacier.
Yeah. You know, and, you know, we when we got there, like to the actual lake itself, we were able to, you know, walk on those logs to like kind of sit by ourselves, even though there were a ton of people there. We were still able to like kind of seclude ourselves to have like that moment in nature that we like. At least I like it, you know. I love those moments.
Well, and I think part of it too with those people there, they I'm trying to think how to word this because it was like I think there was an increase of people because the only road really the part of the going to Sun Road that was open was from Apgar to Avalanche. So I think
Hmm.
everyone was doing this Avalanche Creek hike, but I or Lake hike, and I think a lot of people in the park. That's one of the first main hikes in the park. It's an easy day hike. It's not a lot of stress on the body. You know, it's doable. And people, I think it is a big popular hike even when everything else is open.
Yeah.
But it was beautiful, and you hit it on the head there when you said we were able to get out on those logs by ourselves and just kind of take it in. I mean, that's one thing, like, you know, when you do like a Cracker Lake hike like we did a couple years ago, where it was just us at that lake, or at least it felt like it. I didn't see any other people there, so
Yeah. I think there was like one other like
I
group,
thought they
but they
came up.
kept going, you know. They didn't go to where we were.
Yeah, and it's
So,
and you don't see them in any picture or any like view really. I didn't see
yeah.
them after that, which to me is like it's really cool. I think Glacier is one of those places. It's worth it to go. It's cool. I think I would want to spend more time there in the winter personally, just to see Glacier in the winter. I think would be beautiful.
I think it would be beautiful. I think it'd be tough though, you know. Shit, everything's going to be just snow, snow, snow.
Right? You'd have to, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't even know, is it open in the winter?
I mean, like ish. I think you could like snowshoe in and stuff, but
Oh,
like I think like McDonald Lodge and places like that kind of.
like
Oh,
90% of the park's closed.
99. I think it's just 1% that's open. I've seen pictures from Glacier. Like, you just have to know what you're doing.
Oh yeah, I bet. I bet it's, you just got to know what the hell you're
Well, it's kind
doing.
of sad. Oh, sorry. I
No, no, you're good. You're
I
good.
it's kind of sad. I just as you're thinking about that, you know, I was thinking, you know, we were afterwards we were in Yellowstone, but in Yellowstone you see those snow coaches, those yellow snow coaches that looks very similar to those yellow tour buses. And then Glacier has those red tour buses, the red jammers as they call them.
Mm-hmm.
And I was very like I love seeing those on the Going to Sun Road. The point we went like we didn't see any because they weren't running.
Yeah, we didn't
And
see any of them.
I you know, it's one of those iconic things. You're like, oh yeah, the red jammer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it'd be fun to do one of those one time.
Uh, yeah, maybe. I don't know, man. It's like the type of people that get on those don't really mesh
That's why
with
you
me
go.
well.
That's why you go. You're like to remind yourself, like, yes,
I mean,
okay.
that's why I go to Montana. Like, I get a pretty good dose of it already. So,
Oh.
just to kind of add on top of that, like, man, might be too much. Might be too much.
We'll see.
Yeah.
No, I like doing shit like that sometimes because you're like I don't know. It's like when I was in Hawaii in January with Thea. Thank God we picked January for our trip. Like right after that's when everything went south.
Yeah. Shit.
Like with
Yeah.
like travel and stuff. So I'm glad we got a good vacation. Like it's like yeah, we went on a good one. Like don't really have another one coming up. So it was kind of good. I forgot where I was going with it because I got too much involved in that conversation. But yeah, I mean, oh
No.
no, I was saying we're in Hawaii. We went to the Dole pineapple plantation, and of course, you got to ride the little train that goes through the plantation. Like, why not? Why not?
I don't know, man. Sometimes, I mean, that might be a little cool because you're gonna go see this, like, all the pineapples and stuff. But
They got more. They got sugar cane.
yeah,
They got a whole farm.
yeah. So like that's a little different in my opinion than the red tour buses that go up the Going to Sun Road, right?
Yeah, but you're some 70-year-old couple going to Glacier for your first time. Like,
I'm not 70 though. If I'm 70, maybe. If I'm 70, 80,
if you're
maybe
70, you're
then.
going to be the guy in the jammer. All right, this is
Yeah.
Grinnell Racing. You're off to the left. You're totally going to be a volunteer in the parks, like one of those guys
Oh, I would hands down.
that hold faithful all day. Like it's
Yeah.
going on in 90 minutes.
I totally would. Totally. If
What?
I got paid to do it now, I would do it.
You
So
know,
if you're out there listening, National Park Service or any other wildlife nature thing, if you need someone charismatic, funny, that loves nature, I'm your guy.
right now,
Yeah.
sign me up.
You know where to reach me, right? I got an Instagram, Reverend Marcus, Twitter, Reverend Marcus, or reach out to Quartz Lake, Quartz Lake Productions, people.
Or you can always email me at wanderingwayspodcast at gmail.com.
Oh,
WANDERINGWAYSPODCAST at gmail.com. I struggled there, but I got it.
it's better than the last time we tried to spell it, though.
Yeah, I mean, I could have spelled it wrong. Just
Wandering Ways. We'll have it down below for the viewers. And then it should be in the podcast description for wherever you guys are listening as well.
you know, and I assume we'll probably spell it the right way in the title. Be the
Yeah,
same
that too.
Ways Podcast, gmail.com.
Yeah.
You know,
If you've been listening to multiple of these episodes, you can probably tell that neither Zach or I can spell. So,
not for shit anyway.
yeah, no, we are not good spellers.
Like I can spell like decent words. I mean, that's why we got Tyler, dude. Tyler can spell. We'll bring him on one time. He was good. Like as a kid, he was like spelling bee champ. He fucking won his classroom because he was so good at it. And then he like misspelled a word on purpose because he's like, I don't want to like move on.
Oh gosh.
He did it that way, where he was the kid where he's like, super, SEPER, super. Wrong. Okay, like I'm done. And I was just like, why, dude? You're smart. You can get like money and stuff for like doing like you win the competition, they give you a scholarship. Like he's like, oh, well, that sucks.
I mean, it's whatever. It's spelling. It's not that
Oh.
exciting.
No, but we suck at it. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
I always like do that when I'm driving. So I was driving to I'll get the red juice. I was driving to like Corvallis when you drive down from like Salem or on the interstate I-5 there. You always see those roads. I think it's like Grievous and Dover or something, like one of the signs on the interstate. I forget what it is, but every time I see it, I look at it and I read it. Corvallis and Denver. Like what? Like no, that's not what it is. But and neither word is that. But it's just like they look the
Yeah.
same. You're just like yeah, those ones. That's fine.
Yeah. That might be dyslexia.
You know, I've been told. I have like it's like maybe you should have got tested as a kid for this and that and this and that. And it's just like fuck it. Like
Yeah, I mean, you
I'm
made it
here.
this far.
I know I have like OCD about certain things. I have to have things in a particular way.
Oh, I mean, everybody does, man. Everybody's got their little things that get at them. Like, I
Yeah,
mean, I do for sure. I for sure do.
that's true. But yeah, man. Shit. So we did the Avalanche Lake hike
Yep.
up in
And
Glacier.
then we camped that night and had that gnarly thunderstorm in the middle of the night. Thunder,
And
lightning, rain, the whole shabam.
and that's not the first time I've experienced a lightning storm in Glacier. I camped at Apgar one time, and there was one, and it was really. We had a tarp over our tent, so we didn't get wet. But yeah, I just slept in the hammock, no tarp over me. I traded Tyler. Like he was like, "Oh, I'll sleep in the hammock tonight," and and he was like, "No, I'll sleep in." He's like, I was like, "Well, I'll sleep in the tent," so we debated, and then I just said, "Oh, I'll take the hammock," and of course it rains, so I just get
Yeah, right.
soaked. And I mean,
No,
it's cool.
I was pretty lucky. I decided to put my tarp up before I went to bed over my hammock.
Yeah, I don't have one.
Yeah, no, I remember what Matt Buddy said that it was probably there's a good chance of thunder, lightning, the whole shebang. So it's like, you know what, I'm gonna do it, set it up, and then thank goodness because I was able to sleep really comfortably.
I didn't trust Matt Buddy with the weather that weekend.
Yeah, the thing about I've noticed with him and those like kind of things is he's it's like the only time he ever really researches stuff is when it's like those weird like the weather. Like he
Yeah,
really takes his time to look up the weather. But
but I mean for like certain things, he didn't look it up for Glacier. He looked it up for Sealy, and he looked it up for Yellowstone, but he didn't look it up
yeah,
for Glacier.
until we
So like
got there.
until we got there, and that's why I didn't believe him when he's like, "Oh, it's going to rain." And I'm like, "No," because like I feel like we would have been like paying attention to this the whole time, like not.
Yeah.
And it
No,
was that.
I mean I get what you're saying, but shoot. It's mountain weather, man. That thing can snap in a second.
Oh no, I mean the mountains create their own weather too. But
Yeah.
the interesting thing was like, I'm glad because everything was closed that we did stay at a KOA because that was like one of the only things that was open.
Yeah.
And the Glacier Park KOA is actually really nice.
It's more of a resort in my
Oh,
opinion.
for sure. But even like kind of where we were camping was nice, like because we
Mhm.
didn't feel like we're out in the woods, and there are hiking trails and stuff right there into the national forest, which is cool. But I was lucky because we were sleeping right next to the car.
Mhm.
I was able to jump in the car and sleep in the car, and I woke up at 5 just soaked. And I left in my car, and yeah, then we got a late start into the park. Avalanche was closed. We couldn't really do much.
No.
We drove to the southern portion, drove Highway 2, Montana Highway 2 from West Glacier to East Glacier. Tried to drive in the Two Medicine area. Couldn't go back there because the Blackfeet had the reservation closed, as they rightly should.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, and then we just kind of.
Well, we stopped at the Goat Lick,
Oh yeah, we
which
did. We
is
got.
one of the cooler parts. I'm gonna pull up a photo, one of my photos, because I don't have yours yet. But
Uh,
um, one of
yeah,
my photos of some of the goats we saw there.
yeah, that was cool. The goat lick. So if you're looking for mountain goats in Glacier Park and Logan Pass is closed, is a goat lick. It's a natural salt lick. And they just hang out in that area. There's a parking area. You can walk across the bridge and see them.
Yeah,
Yeah, look at them, beautiful, sitting right there, right out on the point, mama and her baby.
yeah. So Um, if it's just literally right off the road, you kind of there's a bridge, and then there's a turnout, um, which the turnout gets you kind of some cool views, but we actually had to go back up to the road, then come back to that bridge so we can get this shot.
Yeah,
Um,
for
but
our
I
online
mean,
videos.
I think I've gone by that 3 times now, and I've always seen a goat there. So,
Oh, we've always seen goats there. Um, what's interesting too is that, like, you're like, what the heck is wrong with its fur? It's losing its winter coat. It's getting ready for
hmm
summer, and they have a short summer, really, in Glacier Park. Like, I would argue summer up there is really June to August, if that even, because you still get those high, winter storms coming into June and
yeah,
August.
maybe you might get September, might stay a little hot, but
Yeah, but you'll have a storm or two by then.
yeah,
And so they gotta build those thick fur coats, and that's another reason I want to go there in the winter. At least maybe the Goat Lick might be a good area to go, um, because I like mountain goats, in their full fur.
oh
People,
yeah,
like, that's like he's shedding it. It's kind of matted, but it's that,
mm,
like, full fur, which is that winter coat. December, January. That just, you see it with the bison in Yellowstone.
yeah. No, you do. It's really cool. And then I got one other one. This is like literally underneath the road that you drive
Yeah,
over. So you drive over this bridge, and again, we walked up back to the road to like look at it. And like again, this is a different couple or the different mama and baby pair from the picture that we showed before, right? But this is literally right under that bridge right there. So I mean, you see tons of goats there. It's
yeah.
super cool. Highly recommend it.
Well, and then down below the lookout, there was some sitting across the way. Like, they're just all over.
Yeah, ton of them. You know, and actually, I mean, you had a really cool kind of experience with this little guy. I mean,
Yeah,
obviously, it's not my picture; it's your picture that you have of him. But he was like having a fun little time with you. If you want to talk about
Quartz Lake's
that,
picture. Quartz
yeah,
Lake, all our pictures.
true.
So, is this? Oh no, yeah. Okay, so every day we're at my house here. Every day, this UPS guy, he drives his truck and he parks it out back, and he parks it under the tree and eats his lunch every day. And it's like, it's. I'm just like, you do you.
Hey, man, he's
But
trying to enjoy his day. You
I
know,
know. But I'm like, there's so many better places. Like, my backyard, like I don't have a pretty. I live in, like, an apartment. There's other apartments across the way. It's not really that pretty.
I mean, maybe it's on his route.
Gotta be. It's gotta be. But
Yeah.
yeah, no, that picture of this little guy I have. So you could see the two pillars there that hold up the road. Um, Basically, I was up on top of the road and shot down at this little guy as he came up. Let me see. I might have it on my phone here.
Yeah. So literally on the road, just right off the side of the road now is where he is. So, cars are kind of not a whole lot of cars because we're out in nowhere, Montana, but well, Glacier National Park, Montana, not nowhere. But
I mean, can feel like nowhere.
yeah, but I mean, so there's not a lot of cars, so it's whatever. But anyways, he was kind of poking as he's looking for this picture. So there's just not the
I
dead
might
silence.
have it. It might be on my computer
Oh,
back into Yellowstone. Yeah,
but
I don't have it. But yeah, it was like, I'll put it up. I'll put it up on Zach of Quartz Lake Productions. I'll share it out. It was just a little baby goat, and he was just looking right up at me, and he just kept jumping out underneath the road, just jumping out, looking up, and then he'd run back under. And it was like just having fun, the way goats do. I think little baby goats like to have fun like that. So it was really cool. It was a cool experience. It was good to show Matt, Bobby, Tyler that, because I think, I don't know about you, but mountain goats, to me, they have like an eerie feel about them.
mm-hmm.
They're up at the top of the world. just living their life, and they kind of have that like eerie vibe.
Yeah.
And
No, I mean goats are pretty cool. I mean,
yeah,
like you say, you think they're like the gatekeepers to the heavens or whatnot.
yeah, no, like, people believe that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they have that. That's what I mean. They're eerie in that sense that they're so high up, and especially for native peoples, that was kind of, they were seeing as sky beings in that sense, and
Mm-hmm.
goat is a spiritual animal, and I think there is a connectivity to that, but that's a deeper conversation.
Yeah, and I mean, everybody's got their own beliefs for it, and so I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to think that way, because
Oh,
typically they are the like last living beings, bigger living beings. There's sometimes birds and stuff that can get higher, right? But
yeah.
as for like the mammals and stuff, they're kind of the last ones up there.
Well, and then you take us as like, we're mammals, we're animals. People,
Hmm.
we're quick to forget that we are animals, and it's like, I think there's a connect. Like, they have two eyes, they have four legs, all that. Like, we look the same as like animals. So like, how are we not at least connected to these things? We're connected to them in a way.
Yeah.
So whatever that is, I think that's what it is. And it's like, there's a purpose that they're up there. They have that purpose. I mean, everything has its purpose, but
Yeah. Yeah.
there's certain creatures, like the fucking great blue whale. Like,
Yeah.
you're just, dude, there's that thing knows that brain is so huge. Like, if brain size means something, we always thought, oh, the squirrel has a peanut brain, and I was thinking, like, for me, I've always thought in relativity, like, well, yeah, in relative to his body, it's about the same as ours to our body or whatever, right? Like, but you take like these big creatures, these big animals, these brains, and if that thing is true, that we value that, what about, like, okay, if having a large brain, so that blue whale must have knowledge, if you truly believe that, or that elephant, that brain, I don't
Yeah. No, I mean,
know.
yeah, they have. I mean, they carry knowledge. It's a different kind of knowledge and way. I mean, we as people can learn from them for sure. So,
Well, and I
uh,
think communication, right? Like, that's like our biggest thing is like understanding one another, and like we communicate with humans, and I think part of like the human communication, right? Like, we are, so we're a young species in that sense of like, well, no, there are still thousands of languages on this planet. There are still villages that haven't been contacted with like society in the Amazon. There are these things that are like outside of our control, that we can't converse evenly with every human, but like the way animals converse is like different. Yeah, they communicate with each other, they disagree, whatever, yada yada yada.
well, I
Harmony.
forget where I was listening to this, but I was listening to someone and they were talking about, like we think we think as humans our ability, 'cause we're talking right now, we're on a podcast talking right now, and the fact that we can talk like this, we think that it's such an incredible thing to have that communication skills.
Right.
But in reality, like um other creatures and like even like plants and like fungi and animals, reptiles, they're all communicating. The issue is sometimes we aren't good at intercommunicating with each other, right? We can't go, say, us talking to a plant. And that's not to say that the plant is dumber than us. It kind of goes into like how our ability to communicate isn't quite evolved yet, and we can learn to communicate with like plants or
Oh,
fungi or
exactly. And
other creatures,
I think that's, oh, my internet connection is unstable, just so you're aware.
it always is.
But
See, and there it is. This episode of the podcast is brought to you by Quartz Lake Productions. Quartz Lake Productions is making a series of videos and photos inspiring you all to go out and explore nature as well as the national parks. You can check out Quartz Lake Productions on their YouTube page where they have a variety of different videos of different trips and many more to come, as well as episodes of this podcast will be on the Quartz Lake Productions YouTube page. So please go check it out. Enjoy listening.
You know why I have bad internet connection? It's
I don't know.
because I was talking to the guy when he's installing my Wi-Fi. He's like, internet is at a point where like if you have the where you tap into internet, if that's upgraded to where it's at, you'll be fine. But the problem is like because I live in a condo association, they all run them to the same fucking box kind of thing. But
Mm-hmm.
yeah, you can have different internet providers, but it's the main like internet line that you tap into that that's basically the like thing is like that needs to be upgraded, and like the condo association would have to like vote for that.
Oh,
Wouldn't be bad, but like at the same time too, I don't really use the internet at home that much, as well as it's just like when you live in a place like this, an apartment, like you know,
yeah.
it's like why the fuck. But yeah, that's my internet story. I saw your bracelet there. I wanted to bring this up as you show
Yes.
the bracelet. Yeah, right there. Oh, he took it off. I just thought you were gonna go do one of these.
Well, I can't look at me on, right?
Right.
There I have other bracelets and a polar watch because Fit Fam, motion is the potion.
Well, that one
But
is the official love bracelet. They reached out to the Rougarou and wanted us to be a brand ambassador for them, which is like, I get it. It's just a way of selling your product to people. It's a marketing tactic, but they have a good message. Some of the money goes to domestic violence, and that's why I chose to support them and help them out, is because they are fighting domestic violence, and that is something we do take seriously, and wanted to throw that out there. So
yeah, it is. There's a promo code you got for it, don't you?
yeah, it's on the
Look at us. We
Rougarou.
got real ads now, people. Although this isn't going to be an ad. It's just going to be a little plug. But
Shout out. Hey. No, yeah, the Rougarou, my Instagram for my Jeep, the Jeep Renegade, is called the_Rougarou. I'm not 100% sure what the coupon code is, but it is on my story. The stories you can save on Instagram, I've created it so that they show our trips, they show the codes, they show some of the things I've installed on the car, and just so people, quick fixes, easy to do. Check it out if you're into that. If you're not, that's cool too.
yeah, but look at, gosh, the podcast already kind of growing. This is exciting.
I guess.
But
I
we
guess.
could either go back to the conversation we had before your internet got crappy, or we
I like
continue on
that. I
with
like that
Glacier.
because you froze on me for a little bit before my internet got unstable.
Oh,
But but what you were saying was right with communication and the animals and the trees and this, because like even the forest, if you look up in a forest and you see the way the tree leaves kind of like grow from different trees, and how they don't they're competing for sunlight, but they work in mysterious ways that like in like a harmonistic kind of approach.
yeah,
And it's interesting, and like I look at that and I'm like, well, look at us and like emojis, right? Well, yeah, it's a lot easier for me to communicate with my friends with emojis because there's no true language barrier.
yeah. No, I mean, that's very true, and so uh, I think we can improve upon our communication skills as a species of humans. I think if we were to learn how to communicate with nature more, we'd have a better kind of balance and like society amongst, we this earth could be so much better off if we learned how to communicate with it better.
Oh, I think part of that is just patience, time, and just realizing we're not that much different from one another.
Yeah.
We're just kind of like all wanting to live our lives. Like we just
Hmm.
want to be happy. Like that's the like end of it is like we just want to be happy. To be
Yeah.
happy.
Yeah, it is. That's most people just, regardless what they do, they just want to come home. They want to be happy. And so, and I don't blame you. We all should be happy, would suck to be sad or mad all the time.
Exactly.
But anyways, going back to
Glacier.
Glacier more, I got one picture because we talked about Avalanche, that hike we did, but for our viewers watching this, they didn't get to see a picture. So we're gonna pop up a picture, and again, these pictures can be found at Quartz Lake Productions Instagram. So for anybody out there that is just listening and want to see some of these pictures, please check out the Instagram at Quartz underscore Lake underscore Productions to see these pictures. And then also check out each of us individually. I know Zach has, he puts up a lot of pictures from the trips on his Quartz Lake, Zach Gray, Quartz Lake Instagram. And then I do put up some nature photos and stuff on my Instagram at reverendmarcus.com. But anyways, back to the actual. So this is the avalanche like lake that we hiked to. And again, we were talking about how at Glacier everything sits in a bowl, which I mean, I like that feel. I like
Yeah.
that feel of,
Cool.
mm-hmm.
Really
And
makes you want to get on top.
yeah, all the glaciers. And you can see the runoff, some of the waterfalls leading down to the lake.
This one up here, go up to the top, that tall peak,
This top
right
right.
there, right where your mouse is. That waterfall right below there. See that, right? Yes, you're circling it. That waterfall. Oh my gosh. There's a giant waterfall.
Yeah. So um yeah, no, going into it more, just a little bit more detail.
It was just, yeah, we were there. We were sitting there. You see the main two coming out over there on that side. There's tons, just the water all melting right into this lake here. And look how clear the water is. And we turn and we're like looking up there, like, oh my gosh, this thing is wide. It's just gushing water right out of the mountain. And it's creating this slide here. You can see the slide down from it. And it's just like, it was a really cool lake.
Yeah, it was. Um it was definitely worth doing this hike to see it.
Well, and it's accessible. We saw a lot of old people. We saw a lot of kids. We saw everybody. Everybody was like all ages did that hike. I mean, obviously, if you're handicapped or have that ability, it might be a little difficult. There's it is a hike, but if you're able-bodied, it is definitely accessible pretty easily.
Yeah, and that's again, that's the thing about, that's another beautiful thing about some of these national parks is it allows a lot more people to go out and enjoy nature, right?
Exactly.
Whereas like before, you may have had to do like backcountry, or you climb like 1,000 feet of elevation, may have to do like 10 plus miles, and that not everybody can do that. And so it's nice to see, like at a national park like this, a hike that is relatively accessible for like most people.
Yeah.
So
No, it was really cool to see that. And what this picture is missing is off to the right here. There was probably 100 people
yeah.
um on the little beach area, but
Yeah.
like I said, we were able to get out on these logs, walk out on these logs, and sit here for a while by ourselves. And people, it's interesting because you people are talking, but it's not loud.
Mm-mm.
Even like Angel's Landing, when we did Angel's Landing, and you're up on top in Zion there, people are just hanging out, enjoying themselves, enjoying the view, enjoying the place, and it's just it's cool. I mean, it was cool to do that. Um, yeah, but yeah, we were in Glacier. That was really cool. And
Yeah.
then that next day, after the lightning storm and our drive and onto the Blackfeet Res, we went into kind of just took one of those pullouts on the highway too, and just said, uh, let's try and hike up to this observation tower, this lookout tower for forest fires.
Yeah.
And it just started pouring rain on us.
Oh, dumping.
Like I was wearing jeans, which was not a good choice. I see why you wear hiking pants, because it wicks the water away a little bit more and dries away. I was wearing these jeans and they were just soaked, because I was expecting nice warm days because that's kind of the weather we got all these last couple of weeks. But I was like, jeans, they're soaked. Not a good combination, because those were the only long pants I had. And it was fine. It was fun. I mean, we made it it was a 4 mile hike to where we were going. We probably made it about 2. Um,
Yeah. Something like that. You
yeah.
know, the we weren't prepared for the heavy downpour, and not everyone in the group was 100% bought into the hike either. So
Well, it was kind of one of those things where we had a plan to hike the Going to Sun Road. We're just going to walk up the road, but that was kind of hard to get to and closed where we wanted to go. So then we decided to do kind of drive around and look, and then figured it out, and we just did it, which it was just kind of that, like, let's fucking do it to do it. But I think Matt Buddy, he was not, after the Avalanche Lake hike, he was feeling it a little bit because it was his first time hiking in a while, and just fine, But like, that's the thing, and that bugged me a little bit with him, is like, dude, just tell us you're not feeling good. Just tell us that your legs are, like hurting, like. And he tries to like fight through it, and it's like, don't fight through it. We don't want, like, it's going to be a lot worse if you get hurt up on this mountain, because most likely you're going to have to helicopter you in, and that's going to cost a lot, or this is going to we like, yeah, well, we would try to pack you out, but in the rain like this is going to be a bitch. Like, it's just going to suck.
yeah,
And
yeah, just you gotta listen to your body, and
exactly.
yeah, and don't be afraid to say, hey, my body is saying no.
No,
And
exactly.
so I mean, it wasn't just him. It was a collection of things, which it was fine. We
No,
ended up heading back. Um,
it was interesting. I think it'd been cool to get up on top.
it would have. I don't know what the view would have been like because it was so like
I like
gray and rainy.
I like that when you're up on top of mountains, though, like when it is gray and rainy, because like you can like see the other hills, the fog, the eeriness, all it. But I mean, in the rain like that, at the rate we were going, we probably had another couple hours ahead of us.
Yeah.
And the trek back down alone was as long as it was. Like, yeah, I would say we were probably up 2 miles and in the rain, and
And we got a late start too. So
attitudes of people.
yeah, there was a collection of things,
Yeah.
because like you said, we wanted to hike, we wanted to just walk the road, part of the road, to show those guys the Going to the Sun. Couldn't get up there for a while, so we're like, all right, let's head to the south part. We went to the Goat Lick. We were there for a while. Then we're like, okay, let's see if we can sneak into Two Medicine. We didn't, because that's closed, rightfully so. And then we were like, all right, well, we don't know what to do, so we went to that Continental Divide point. Made some PBJs, and again, we were just like, oh, I don't know what to do. So we just kept driving. Finally found that pull out, and by that time it was already pretty late. So, and we had a longer drive back. So I mean, there was a lot to it. Um,
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing you really get at there, which I like, is I think when you're with a group like that, where you have Bobby, who's a first timer in the park, so he doesn't know what to expect.
yeah,
You have Matt, who is more, I think he's more going the touristy route of parks now. He wants to do the gift shops, he wants to do the lodges, he wants to do the the tourist side of it. Like, yeah, he'll go on a hike, but he'll go on the Logan's Pass hike or the Avalanche hike.
yeah,
I don't. I mean, he will backcountry. He has backcountryed, but I think he's on that more of like, I want to enjoy my stay in the park this way. I want
yeah.
to do that, which is fine. I mean, that's what is great about parks. They have all these opportunities for different people.
Mm-hmm.
You had Tyler, whose first time was in the park, who before this trip I don't think was that big into doing hikes and stuff, and I think he's like, oh shit, like this is not a bad workout, like I like it, you're seeing cool things, boom, so he doesn't know what to expect. And then you have you and me, who are just kind of like, I think, disappointed in the fact of like, we're here, it's not what we want to do, but we're going to make it happen. But these guys not really knowing what to do or how to do it, where you or I, it's easy to take out. We can just like, I mean, we did it in Yellowstone with Matt, where we just like pulled over on the side of the road and said, like, let's start walking down this river.
Yeah,
Or when, like, that's kind of what we did down there, was we said, let's just walk up this. Oh, look, there's a thing up here. Let's try and walk to it.
yeah,
And that's kind of what we did. But like, I don't think these guys were as big into that as they wanted to be for a hike like that, where it's just like, you guys are just going to walk into the woods, like there's no real destination.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then but it is what it is.
Oh, and that's life. That's
Yeah,
hiking.
you
That's
just kind of roll with the flow, the blows of it, and then it's not to. You want everyone to enjoy themselves, right? So you just
yeah. It's hard to please more people when you have more people.
yeah, and
You
when you
know.
have such a wide variety of people too,
Yeah.
so
Yeah, because it would be easy if you had people that were like down to just say, yeah, those hikes, yeah, we'll do those with you.
yeah,
And I think that's kind of it. It wasn't as planned out, but that's also, we don't necessarily plan in a place like Glacier. Like, yeah, like we'll say we want to do these hikes, but when you get to the park, those hikes aren't always available.
yeah.
Or
Glaciers especially.
yeah,
Things change so quickly up there. Like, because I mean, our full intention was to do the Highline Trail there,
yep.
which we couldn't. Which that's fine.
But not only that, with Glacier, like the things that what I love about Glacier is like, there's places in the park where they say there's too much bear activity. You can't
Yeah.
do a hike. There's a fire. There's this. There's that. Like, and I think that's what's cool about it, is like, you have to think on the fly a little bit.
Hmm.
You have an option B and C, and we didn't really like have those. We just kind of, yeah, we want to do these, because I think we kind of knew going into it the group we would have, and the fact that to plan a backup, it would have been difficult. It would have been like, oh shit, we're going to go over to Pole Bridge now.
Yeah.
I don't think they would have been too kindly of that. I mean, I don't think they would have wanted to camp over there either.
No.
Yeah.
No. But that's what it is, which is fine. I still enjoyed my time in Glacier. Got
Oh,
to.
I did not enjoy my time. I loved it
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. I always enjoy Glacier. So
Yeah, and that led us to Yellowstone.
yeah. We ended up in Yellowstone, which we don't have. I don't think we have enough time today to go
Oh,
into Yellowstone too much.
but we saw some good animals.
Yeah.
Uh,
Um,
uh,
we can give people just a taste of
yeah,
what we experienced in Yellowstone and the weekend of that weekend in the Yellowstone area, West Yellowstone area.
beautiful. It was fun. We saw the Milky Way. We saw a fox. We saw grizzly bear, black bear, deer, elk, yada yada yada. We even saw sheep. Did you guys see the sheep coming back after rafting? We went rafting.
Yeah. No, we did. We saw the sheep too.
We
Um,
stopped. Those guys are just like, yeah, sheep.
yeah.
There was no
And
ram.
then
There was a ram. We would have stopped.
yeah, and then the total unexpected thing. So we stayed in a cabin because it was for Mr. Zach Gray's bachelor party, right? But we stayed in this cabin in, I think it was Island Park, Idaho, right?
Yeah, population like 400. All
Yeah.
rams.
But anyways, this is the most unexpected but pleasant little gift. As we're sitting on the porch of this cabin, looking over this beautiful lake, the mountains there, off in the distance, you get
Oh,
to see the tips of the Grand Tetons.
yeah.
So it was a true treat to be able to see
That
those
was a
guys.
beautiful place to stay at.
It was a really nice cabin,
Like, I
great
want to
views.
say I'll be back.
At the
Like,
Moose Lodge, was it?
Lake Lodge
Yeah,
at
Moose Lake
Henry's
Lodge.
Lake. The lake we looked over was Henry's Lake, though.
Yeah, yeah. But
Nice.
oh, you know what we didn't mention is on our way up to Glacier when we are driving from Sealy to Glacier, we saw that moose.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Good. So on our way to Glacier National Park, and this is funny because Matt and Bobby were in a truck behind us, but they stopped to get gas, so they completely missed this, and I don't think they believed us. But we're driving, and then you're going up Highway 87 here in Montana, and at the base, the south tip of Swan Lake, there's a national wildlife refuge area, and this moose, she just said, I'm gonna cross the road, but she was just kind of standing on the road for a while because we saw the cars were stopped, like, oh, they're stopping for this animal, and she just kind of ran across the road on us, and you're like, oh my gosh, like a moose.
yeah. No, that was a real treat. It
It was.
wasn't a long glimpse, but it was unexpected and it was nice to see, get a little
name,
taste of, because I haven't seen many moose.
name a Montana animal we didn't see.
Um, a marmot.
I saw one.
Where did you see one?
They were running around on the Sheep Eater Cliff.
I didn't see him then when we were there.
I saw one. I did see a marmot. I don't
God,
know if
this guy, he sees one and doesn't tell anyone.
well, I think it might have even been on my drive home by myself
Oh, oh, oh.
because
But
they're all over the Beartooth Pass.
yeah, they are there.
Saw the coyote.
Yeah.
Two coyotes on our drive home at night, midnight through the park.
Hmm.
Didn't see a wolf though.
Oh, yeah, we didn't see a wolf, but wolves are hard to see. So it would have been a real capper if we did see a wolf. But
Well, and that's another thing. If we have listeners who are going to email in, they have the Wandering Ways podcast at gmail.com email. They're emailing in. I want to know. I want to know, and this is your homework for the week. I want to know, does it count to see the wolf if they are up in the mountains and you're looking through a spotting scope and they're just like dots on the spotting scope, or they're just like, you know what I mean? Does it count? Are you seeing a wolf in Yellowstone, or is it what counts? I want to know what other people count, you know?
yeah, I feel you there. In my personal opinion, I think that does count.
And like I'm there, but I'm like, we were and we'll talk about this more in depth because we had some first timers to Yellowstone Park as well with us in the vehicles. But we were able, and this is a little tease. This is a tease for next week's episode. Or we were sitting in our cars in the Lamar Valley, cars turned off, windows down, on one of the little pullouts, and this herd of bison was around us on both sides of the road, eating, eating the grass, moving slowly past us, just hanging out, living their life. It was the most at one with a creature I think you could get sometimes. And to do it with the American bison, the buffalo, was just, it was really a unique experience.
It was. It really was. And I mean, we'll jump into it when we talk more about Yellowstone going into next week and stuff, or next episode. It might not, whenever we record, which hopefully is next week. But I mean, that being said, we can go into our final words. Do you have any final words for the people, my guy?
Reverend, I think after the week we had going to these places, not being able to record live, that happens. Bigfooting takes us away. But it was okay to do that because we were with the people around us. And those are moments to cherish. Those are moments to savor, to keep, to enjoy, to talk about, to reminisce on. And I think that's the thing, is we like to take our phones with us. We like to take our cameras with us, which, yeah, great, get your pictures, beautiful, but like those moments when you're not recording and you're just hanging out and you're having the conversations, you're having those connections with people. I think the fact that we were able to experience that the way we experienced it and have that was just, it was phenomenal. And it was something that people don't think about enough, and just to think on that.
Amen. Amen. Like they said, there's that quote in Secret Life of Walter Mitty. Sometimes things are too beautiful. You don't want the distraction of the camera.
Exactly.
But Reverend's final words of wisdom for today. I mean, stay beautiful. It's kind of the same every time, but stay beautiful, be amazing. Cherish those moments, the moments that aren't distracted with the camera. Because those are the moments you really remember, right? Sure, the camera may spark the memory, but a lot of times it's the stuff that happens off camera that are truly what is remarkable and amazing. So I encourage you guys to go out and enjoy nature, enjoy family, enjoy friends. Go and make a memory, because go and make a memory. But anyways, thank you guys all for listening. If you're still into this, we will see you next time when we talk about Yellowstone. So peace out.
Enjoy your day.